Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this bracelet right here. This bracelet is my own original design and it is called the Spiky Taffy Braid bracelet. Alright, and well, what this bracelet is here is actually a variation of TutorialsByA's Taffy Braid bracelet, and I will have a link to her tutorial for the regular Taffy Braid bracelet in the description. And yeah, so as you can see here, this bracelet is kind of reversible. On one side we have the signature side, and the other side we have just this little pattern here. And yeah, so here's just another example. This one I used black rubber bands, and then we have these two different colors alternating on the other side. And I'm going to be making a bracelet that looks more like this one here in this tutorial. So anyway, to make this bracelet, you're going to need your loom. Any ordinary loom will work. I'm going to be using a rainbow loom. You will need a hook. Any hook will work, but I would recommend using a pretty decent hook because you will use double rubber bands in this bracelet, and so you shouldn't be using a really flimsy hook. But anyway, you will also need a clip. Any clip will work as long as it is for rubber band bracelets. I will be using a C-clip, and yeah, not only will you need those things there, but you will also need rubber bands. And as you can see here, we have three different groups, the A, B, and C group. And what each group is, I'm going to go ahead and explain. So these A rubber bands here, they are the rubber bands that will be the actual taffy braid part of this bracelet. So the black, turquoise, and green in this example. I will be using a similar kind of pattern. I'll be using one color on one side of this bracelet here and then alternating colors on the other side. So I'll be using 3 colors, but you can just use 2 like I did in this example. These B rubber bands are going to be what make the Spiky Taffy Braid. The Spiky Taffy Braid, they're going to be the little spikes, I guess you could say, here on the bracelet. And they are white in this example. And they are pink on this one. Then the C rubber bands, the C rubber band is just the cap band that is on your bracelet. And it is white in this example. And I do not have a cap band on this one because it broke. So it's the first rubber band in your bracelet, and it is a circle shaped rubber band. Alright, so the number of rubber bands you will need to make this bracelet . Alright, and now that you know what you're going to need, get your supplies, use the pause button so that you can do so, and I will see you once you have everything. Alright, so to begin making your bracelet, you're going to need to make sure that the arrow on your loom is pointing towards you, like this. So it's kind of like we're about to loom our bracelet, but we're not. And we're going to be making our bracelet going down our loom, so from the top up here, all the way down to the bottom, to these first pins. And we're also going to need all of our A color rubber bands. And I just have my A color rubber bands in 2 separate piles, because some of these are going to be on one side of the bracelet, and others are going to be on the other side. So anyway, another thing about these A color rubber bands is they're going to be doubled, which means you'll place 2 of them instead of 1. So whenever I say get an A color rubber band or get some A color rubber bands, make sure you grab 2 instead of just 1. Unless if I say to grab only 1, but all of these are going to be doubled, so make sure you grab 2. But anyway, to begin, we're going to be making a zigzag pattern going all the way down our loom over here in between the left and the middle pin bars. And yeah, so to get some A color rubber bands and place them going outwards from this last middle pin to this last left pin. Then we're going to get more A color rubber bands. And we're going to just kind of start the zigzag pattern We're going to place them going inwards this time from this last left pin to this middle pin here. Then we're going to get more A-color rubber bands and place them going outwards from this middle pin to the left. And we're still going down our loom. And also notice how we're creating the zigzag pattern. So as you can see, the zigzag is already starting to kind of form. So we're going to get 2 more A-color rubber bands once again. Place them going inwards from this left pin to the middle. And also, another thing, if you're going to be using more than one color, so if you're going to be using 2 colors for your actual bracelet, make sure you put all of the same color going in the same direction. So as you can see here, all of my zebra rubber bands are going inwards. As I've been placing all of my zebra rubber bands going inwards and all of my other rubber bands going outwards. Make sure you do the same. So if you have yellow, make sure you place them all going in the same direction, and if you have another color, make sure you place them going in the same direction. So I'll show you what I mean. So I have this other color here. I've been placing them going outwards from this middle pin bar to the left. What I'm going to do is with this same thing, the other rubber bands here, I'm going to place them going outwards from this middle pin to the left, because now it's time to do that. And that's the rubber band I've been placing going outwards. So just make sure you're doing this if you're using 2 different colors or more. Alright, so now we're going to place rubber bands, A-color rubber bands going inwards. So now I'm going to go ahead and get my zebra rubber bands, because that is what I've been placing going inwards. So now we're going to continue going down from this left pin bar into the middle. And well, that's all we're going to do. We're just going to continue placing double A-color rubber bands going down our loom in a zigzag pattern in between the middle and the left pin bar until we get to the end of our loom. And that should be this first left pin here. So once we get to this first left pin, we are done placing A-color rubber bands. And yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward myself, placing the rest of my A-color rubber bands. You're going to continue as well, but you're just going to use the pause button if you need to. Alright. So as you can see here, I have now finished placing all of my A-color rubber bands in this zigzag pattern in between the left and middle pin bars on my loom. And I've stopped here once I got to this first left pin, and you should have as well. And what we're going to do now is we're going to place all of our B-color rubber bands. So to do this, we're going to start down here at the bottom of our loom where the first left pin is. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a B-color rubber band, and these are all going to be just regular. They're not going to be doubled or anything. But we're just going to place it going from this first middle pin, so this pin here, to this second left pin, like that. Then we're going to get another B-color rubber band and place it going from this second middle pin to this third middle pin. So instead of continuing the zigzag pattern like this, we place the next B-color rubber band kind of parallel to the previous one, so like this. Now we're going to kind of repeat this pattern. Now we're going to go up to the third middle pin, get a B-color rubber band, and place it going towards the fourth left pin. So as you can see here, all of the B-color rubber bands are parallel to each other. None of them are touching or on top of each other. And well, that's all you're going to do. You're going to take all of your B-color rubber bands and continue placing them, going from a middle pin to a left pin, so like this, going all the way up your loom until you get here to the last left pin and the second to last middle pin, so these 2 pins here. So So I'm going to go ahead and continue this. I'm not going to fast forward, but still use the pause button if you need to. I'm just going to go ahead and just continue. Making my way up my loom. Alright, so as you can see here, I've finished now, and oh gosh, now as you can see, my loom looks like this, and yours should look something like this as well. And well, what we're going to do now is we're going to get our hook and our C-color rubber band, wherever I put mine, I gotta go find it, and our C-color rubber band, and now it's time to loom. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the pink background, and what we're going to be doing, that means we're going to loom. So, make sure you have your hook and a C-color rubber band, the only one you should have. And make sure the arrow on your loom is still pointing towards you. It has not changed at all during this tutorial. And now we're going to get started. So, to begin, we're going to take our C-color rubber band and make it into a cap band. And to do that, we're going to twist the C-color rubber band into an 8 or an infinity shape, like this. Then fold it like a book back on top of itself. So now it looks like you have 2 rubber bands instead of 1. Remember, this is still only 1 rubber band, and what we're going to do is we're going to place it on this first left pin. Now we're going to get our hook, and we're going to loom. Now looming is very, very simple for this bracelet. To begin, we're going to just loom rubber bands here on the left side, and you'll see why in a moment. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back this cap band on this first left pin, grab the rubber band below it, hold the cap band so it does not come off of this pin here, and instead of looming the rubber bands, so you should have grabbed both of them, inwards to where the rubber bands are coming from, we're going to loom them forwards. We're going to loom them forwards to the next left pin. So instead of inwards to the middle, we're going to loom them forwards still on the left side. Alright, now still staying on the left side here, we're going to pull back any top rubber bands that are there, grab the bottom 2 rubber bands, because these are doubled and we are looming A-color rubber bands. We're going to grab the bottom 2 A-color rubber bands, and we're going to, so once we grab them with our hook, we're going to bring them forwards to the next left pin. So not going inwards to the middle, going forwards to the left instead. So I'll show you again. Still over here on the left, we're going to pull back any top rubber bands here on this third left pin now. Grab the bottom 2 A-color rubber bands with our hook and pull them forwards to the next left pin instead of inwards. So forwards to the next left pin, not inwards to the middle. And you should have something like this on your loom so far. And well, that's all you're going to do. You're just going to continue pulling back any top rubber bands that are there on the next left pins. So now we're here on this fourth left pin. Let's pull back top rubber bands, grab the bottom 2 A-color rubber bands, and then looming it forwards, or looming them forwards, I guess I should say, going all the way up your loom until you get to the end of the left pin bar. Once you get there, return to the beginning of your loom again, and I will show you what to do from there. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward myself, looming the left side of this bracelet. You're going to continue as well, just use the pause button if you need to. Alright, so as you can see here, I have stopped looming on the left side of my bracelet when I got to the end of the left pin bar here. What we're going to do now is return to the beginning of your loom where you started looming, where your cap band is, and we're going to do the same thing here on this middle pin bar. So we're going to come here to this first middle pin. We're going to pull back any top rubber bands that are there, grab the bottom 2 A color rubber bands and loom them forwards. So not inwards to the left or outwards to the left, but forwards to the next middle pin, just like we did on the left. Now here on this next middle pin, we're going to pull back any top rubber bands that are there, grab the bottom 2 A color rubber bands, and pull them forwards to the next middle pin. Not outwards to the left, but forwards to the next middle pin. Also, as you can see here when you're looming, if you've used more than 2 colors, like I have here, if you look here on the left side of your loom, you only see one kind of rubber band. So all of my other rubber bands that I had that were the other color, they're all on the left, and only my zebra rubber bands are being loomed forwards here in the middle. So that's one way you can see if you placed the rubber bands correctly, or so that you'll get this pattern here. So where you have one color on one side and another color on the other. So that's one way to see if you placed your rubber bands that way. But anyway, you're just going to continue doing the same thing here on the middle pin bar, same thing you did here on the left, going all the way up your loom until you get to this last middle pin. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward myself, looming the rest of these rubber bands here on the middle pin bar. You're going to continue as well, just use the pause button if you need to. Alright, so as you can see here, I have now finished looming all of the rubber bands here on this middle pin bar, and I have stopped when I got to the last middle pin. And what we're going to do now is we're going to loom this rubber band right here that goes inwards from this last left pin to this last middle pin. This rubber band right here, as you can see, it has not been loomed at all yet. And what we do to loom this rubber band is we get our hook. Over here, we go into this last left pin, pull back any top rubber bands that are there, and grab the bottom 2 A color rubber bands, and then pull them both inwards to this last middle pin. This is the only time in this bracelet where we do go inwards or outwards or any other direction than forwards on this bracelet. Once you've loomed that rubber band there, what you're going to need to do now is get your hook and another rubber band, so just kind of like an extra rubber band. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our bracelet off of our loom and make an extension and finish off our bracelet. So, get an extra rubber band. Alright, so to take your bracelet off of your loom, you're going to need an extra rubber band and your hook. And I would recommend making this extra rubber band one of the colors that you used in your bracelet. I'm going to be using zebra, and that's what the rubber band is called, the zebra rubber band. And I would recommend using 2 of these because every other rubber band in your bracelet is doubled. So go ahead and get 2 extra rubber bands and your hook. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our hook, stick it into this last middle pin here, going all the way down, and making sure that when you stick your hook out to the side, it catches all of the rubber bands here on this hook, here on this pin. Right? So with your hook sticking out like so, you're going to get your extra rubber bands, so these 2 here. You're going to put them on the actual hook part of your hook like so, and then slide your hook back up through this middle pin. And make sure when you have once your hook comes out the other side, that these 2 rubber bands are the only rubber bands that are on your hook still. So there shouldn't have been anything else on your hook, just these 2 here. And then we're going to take the other end of these rubber bands we're holding with our fingers and put them on our hook as well. Now we're going to pull our bracelet off of our loom. Now when we do this, we're going to be very careful. We're going to go ahead, take the rubber bands here on this middle pin off, Then we're going to carefully take them off here. And we're just going to pull our bracelet off of our loom, like I am doing right now. Now be very careful when you do this, because you do not want the rubber bands to break or anything to come up and hit you in the face. Yeah, you're just going to go ahead and continue just pulling rubber bands off of your loom. I'm not going to fast forward, I'm just going to go ahead and continue this. Slowly make your way down your loom. There we go. So once you've taken all of your rubber bands off of your loom, you're going to want to go ahead and give the Taffy Braid, the Spiky Taffy Braid bracelet, a little bit of tugs, a couple of tugs, make it a little bit tighter. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make our extension. So as you can see here, I have my bracelet, and you should have yours as well. And we need to make an extension to make it longer so that we can actually wear it like a bracelet. So to do this, you're just going to need your hook, your bracelet still on your hook, and some more extra rubber bands. And these rubber bands are going to be in your extension, of course. So I'm going to be showing you how to make a single chain extension with just your hook. It's pretty simple. All you do is you take a rubber band, you put it on the actual hook part of your hook like so, and slide all of the rubber bands that are already on your hook onto this new rubber band. Now these new rubber bands that you're adding don't have to be doubled, you can just have a single rubber band instead. But once you've got all the rubber bands on this new one, you're going to go ahead and put the other end of this rubber band you're holding with your fingers onto your hook, like so. And then you repeat the same pattern. So you get another rubber band, put it on the actual hook part of your hook, and slide all of these rubber bands that are already on your hook onto this new rubber band. Then you put the other end of this rubber band you're holding with your fingers onto your hook as well. And then you add in another loop, and that is how you make a single chain extension with just your hook. So I'll show you one more time how to do it. You take a rubber band, put it on the actual hook part of your hook, then slide all of these rubber bands that are already on your hook onto this new rubber band. Then you're going to put the other end of this rubber band onto your hook, and there you go. So you're just going to continue this pattern of adding and moving and stuff over and over until you've made your extension long enough so that your bracelet will fit around your wrist. So just go ahead and continue. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. I'm not going to fast forward, just use the pause button if you need to. And I will see you once it is time to make your bracelet a bracelet. Alright, so as you can see here, I have now finished adding rubber bands to my extension, and now my bracelet will fit around my wrist. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get our clips and make our bracelet a bracelet. So, to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to get our clip, and we're going to start with this end here that's on our hook. What we're going to do is we're going to grab this little rubber band here that is underneath the rubber band that's on our hook. So this rubber band here. You're going to grab it with your fingers and pull this rubber band down. Not with your hook, not your hook, but just this rubber band here. And what we're going to do now is grab our clip and attach it to this rubber band that's on our hook. Now when you do attach this clip, make sure it only grabs these two little loops here like this. And once your clip has attached to the rubber bands, you can go ahead and take them off of your hook. And now we just need to attach our clip to the other end of our bracelet. So to do that, we're going to find our cap band or our C color rubber band, That is the circular rubber band here. And what we do is we get our clip and we attach it to our cap band. And there we go. And now we have our clip on both ends of our bracelet. Next step is very simple. All we gotta do is put our bracelet on. And bam. So as you can see here, I am now wearing my Spiky Taffy Braid bracelet, and hopefully you are as well, and I guess now it's time for the outro. So, I would like to thank you for watching my tutorial. Hopefully it showed you how to make the Spiky Taffy Braid bracelet successfully, and hopefully you are enjoying your Spiky Taffy Braid bracelet, and you're wearing it. I want to make some more. This is a pretty cute bracelet. It's a very nice variation of TutorialsByA's Taffy Braid bracelet. And if you are interested in making her Taffy Braid bracelet, there will be a link to the tutorial in the description. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for this tutorial, other than thanks for watching, and bye!